So if anybody is not telling you that applying for a job is a job, then they're not being 100% honest with you. You have to be focused and think of it as a full-time job and swallow the fact that you're not getting paid to do it.
I have applied to now 200 jobs, 210 to be exact. I remember when I first hit 100 jobs, I was like, okay, like this must be it. Like I must be, getting some interview offers, job offers sometime soon. That was not the case. Now, 100 more later, that is still not the case.
I've been looking for a full-time job with benefits for 8 months. I'm convinced that either a witch has put a curse on me or that this whole job market it's just a scam.
Oh, it's a numbers game. Oh, just network more. Oh, you gotta cut your hair.
Shut the up. I have done everything.
LinkedIn receives 11,000 job applications per minute, which is roughly 15 million job applications per day, which is the reason why your job search is taking a little bit longer than expected, or you keep getting ghosted.
I hate applying for jobs nowadays. It seems like whenever I first started working when I was 16, it was like way more simpler. You could just go into a place, say, hey, I want to apply for a job. They give you a paper application. You fill that out in 10 minutes. Then you give it back to them. And then they would call you or wouldn't call you. Nowadays, I go up to a place. They're over here talking about, oh, you need to go online. For what? I'm right in front of you. For what? You can't at least talk to me for a second or at least like give me something to fill out. Why does everything got to be online?
I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon who's left clinical practice and applying for jobs in industry. And I was up at about 6:30 a.m. and sent out about 20 different outreach emails and texts to my network, which I'm expanding, and filled out 2 applications, which took me about an hour and a half to fill out. I have a protein shake and a jug of water, neither of which I've made a dent in since 7:30 this morning. So if anybody is not telling you that applying for a job is a job, then they're not being 100% honest with you. You have to be focused and think of it as a full-time job and swallow the fact that you're not getting paid to do it. But keeping yourself moving, getting up, walking around, staying hydrated. Do as I say, not as I do.
So I included this video because this woman is spot on with her advice. I actually have a couple of people I know who are in the job market right now, and they have told me the same thing. They share the same sentiment that she does. And I have a person in my life close to me who recently got a new job, who was out of a job for a while because they were working with the federal government, and you know what happened there. And they said the same thing. They were treating the job search like it was a job. They wake up at the same time they did when they had a job, and they would search the entire day, literally, until the end of the day, the work day, like 5 p.m., like they would if they were working. And that entire time, they were applying to jobs. Because now with how competitive things are, you can't just do a quick apply on Indeed or a quick apply on LinkedIn and sit back and play video games or go for a walk and expect to get a job. It doesn't work that way anymore. It took her an hour and a half to complete 2 applications online. Think about that. That's 2 applications in an hour and a half. Yet that means in what, 2 hours, or not even that, 30 minutes? I forget the time she said. She sent out, I think it was an hour. She sent out 20 different emails and text messages to her network. And I think that's the key. I think that in today's job market, if you're looking to get hired quickly, you can't just rely on LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, job boards, or job applications, or even going to apply directly on the company's website, and that's it. You have to do more than that. And I think she's a great example of that. And like she said, you have to treat it like it's a job because that's what it is. Especially if you're unemployed. I get if you're working a part-time job somewhere or you're driving Uber, you might have to, adjust your schedule a bit. But if all you're doing is unemployed, you're being unemployed and that's it, no. You gotta do more than just sit around and hit apply on these job boards.
Hello world, I just wanted to update you and say that I have applied to now 200 200 jobs, 210 to be exact. I remember when I first hit 100 jobs, I was like, okay, like this must be it. Like I must be, getting some interview offers, job offers sometime soon. That was not the case. Now, 100 more later, that is still not the case. But I feel like at around the 150 mark, I finally understood how to apply for jobs. As in, I was looking to apply to jobs that I literally would never have gotten in my wildest dreams. So now I've been applying to more entry-level paralegal jobs rather than minimum 2 years, minimum 5 years experience required, because I only have 1 year of experience. So hopefully this yields more positive results for me.
Okay, so two things here. It's not a bad thing to apply for positions that you are on paper not qualified for, especially because entry-level jobs have so much competition. So it makes sense to shoot for a job that you're not necessarily qualified for because it's a way to compete. And if you get your foot in the door, you make a good impression, they may look past the fact that you only have 1 year of experience when they want 3 years of experience, especially if you can demonstrate, that you know what you're doing. If you have any projects you can point to, if you have unpaid internships, things like that. So I think her strategy there was good. Now, it took her 150 applications to realize that's why she wasn't getting as many calls back, which could not be the case. I don't know why it took so long for her to realize that. I mean, it's one thing to use it as a strategy and another thing not to realize that you're applying to positions that you're not technically qualified for. But again, I have a friend who is currently looking for a job and they are actually using this strategy. So they have decent experience, but in the field they're looking to get a job in is very competitive. And so they're seeing hundreds and hundreds of applicants who've already submitted their applications because on LinkedIn, it'll show you, over 100 people applied to this job and you're kind of like deflated, like, man, now I got to compete with these. And this is over 100. You don't know how many hundreds it is, 2, 3, 4, who knows? And so what they're doing is while they're still applying to those positions, they're also applying to positions that are, let's just say, above their pay grade, so to speak, or requires a lot more experience than they have on paper. And, they're using it as a strategy. And if they get calls back, which they have gotten a few calls back and recruiters reaching out to them, at least their foot's in the door, they can have that conversation and they can kind of fill in those gaps. So it's just a way to give yourself an extra leg up, an extra advantage in this very competitive market.
I've been looking for a full-time job with benefits for 8 months. I'm convinced that either a witch has put a curse on me or that this whole job market it's just a scam.
Oh, it's a numbers game. Just network more. You gotta cut your hair.
Shut the up. I have done everything.
I just want to point out really quickly that this guy seems a bit emotionally hot, a little intense, if you will. And it's ironic because his shirt literally says or reads, "Take a deep breath." So I think he needs to read his shirt in the mirror and do as the shirt says, take a deep breath, because he's a bit intense right now.
That I can possibly do. First interview. Great vibe. They're nodding. They're smiling.
Wow, great answer. Oh, we'll call your references. Oh, we'll be in touch.
They call your references. They all say that you're legit. Second interview goes even better than the first interview.
Oh, you'd be a perfect fit. Oh, I really like your vibe. Oh, we'll be in touch soon,
they say. Bullshit. Radio silence. Weeks pass. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm checking my email like a goddamn maniac. Finally, you get the email. Generic, no feedback, no thought put into it, just boom. Go yourself. What's even more frustrating about this rejection is that I potentially turned down another job because I wanted to hear about this one, because this one I was actually passionate about and I wanted it.
So what's that quote? A bird in the hand is worth 2 birds in a bush, or more than 2 birds in a bush, something like that. Essentially meaning if you already have something, go with it if it's good enough, as opposed to letting that thing go and then trying to go search for something else that might be better. In this case, he said a job that he's more passionate about. In this job market, bro, go with the job that wanted to go with you. And if I'm being honest, he said they didn't give him feedback. I'll give him some feedback. And I don't want to make this an appearance thing, but you can see how I look, right? So it's not one of those situations, if you know what I mean. But if I'm being honest, he might want to do something about his grooming. I mean, especially if he's going for a corporate job. I don't know what kind of jobs he's going for. If it's more artistic, maybe this could fly maybe. But if you're going for a more suit and tie or even just white collar corporate job, even non-white collar, he might want to maybe trim the beard, not necessarily have to cut it, trim it. He doesn't even have to necessarily cut his hair, but I don't know, like tame it a bit. I don't want to make this an appearance thing, but I'm just saying, when you're competing, you have to do everything you can to get ahead of the competition. You know what I mean? I mean, he got an offer for a job, so it might not be that. And I doubt he speaks the way he's speaking on camera at the interview. He's just mad right now. But that's a little feedback, my 2 cents. And, he doesn't hear me, obviously, but if he sees it, he can take it, he can leave it. Yeah.
I never got back to them because I didn't want to give them false hope if I got this other job. So now I have to go crawling back to these other people and hope that the position is still open. And let's keep it 100. Let's keep it absolutely 1,000 people. We do not live in a meritocracy, okay? HR does not give a about your skills or your experience. They hire based off who they want to go get a drink with. It's all based off vibes. And the audacity to drag this stupid process out for weeks, bro. You knew on day one if you wanted me there. And the fake niceness, y'all.
We loved meeting you.
Why didn't you actually write me something?
It was such a tough decision.
Was it? Or did you guys just want to hire internally so that you'd have to do less work?
We'll keep your resume on file.
Oh, you mean the trash folder? Rejection's a huge part of life. I'm a performer. I get rejected all the time. That's totally fine. I can handle rejection. But if you're going to reject me, just do it faster. Don't smile in my face, call my references, and then vanish like a Tinder date. At least Tinder dates ghost you faster. I'm tired, y'all. I'm so tired, bro. I'm tired of selling myself. Tired of pretending that I give a about these people's work culture. Maybe I should have joined the circus. At least clowns get paid. I know it's not the most original thing to get on social media and complain about the job market, but it's just ridiculous right now. If you're seeing this and you work in HR, go yourself. Seriously, do better. And if your company's hiring, DM me.
All right, so I used to work in HR, and so I'm not going to go and F myself. He said he's a performer. It tracks. And I'm not saying all performers look like this, but, kind of, they're not as clean cut, I guess you could say. And again, this is a generalization, so, don't come at me too hard for that. But I don't know if he's applying for jobs in that realm, again, or if he's applying for more white-collar jobs. And again, this is not about him. This video is generally about the job market and how tough it is to get a job now. And again, the general advice coming from my 2 cents, and not just my 2 cents, but what I've researched, what I've read, anecdotally from people in my life who are looking for jobs currently or who have been looking recently and gotten a job, is that you have to do everything you can do to compete. One of those things is the way you look. He even said it himself. They hire off of vibes. They hire off of who they want to go get a drink with. And he's not wrong. That is a big part of it. They have your resume. They know what you are capable of, at least on paper, right? If they make you go through some type of, pre-hire test, which some do, or pre-hire project, okay, that's one thing. But aside from that, it really is kind of a personality test, or personality contest, let's be honest. And so you have to be able to relate to people. So again, I need more information on where he's applying and that kind of thing, but it just doesn't come across as relatable to me.
So the New York Times is reporting that LinkedIn receives 11,000 job applications per minute, which is roughly 15 million job applications per day, which is the reason why your job search is taking a little bit longer than expected, or you keep getting ghosted. It actually has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the sheer volume of applications that are flooding the market right now. If you're looking for something and you want your application to see the light of day, I need you to do 3 things for me. Number 1, you have to follow up every time that you apply for a job. 90% of people don't, which is why they don't hear back. You need to make sure that you are finding someone within the organization that can flag your application. Remember that the system that your resume goes into is a very big black hole. And unless someone knows that your application is there, you're never going to see it. Which leads me to rule number 2. You need to be looking for referrals. I wouldn't even be applying for jobs online right now. I would apply as a formality. I would be looking for people at every single company that I want to apply to. Because again, you need some type of human connection. AI and the ATS, that is the system where your resume goes, they're not working for you. And then last but not least, number 3, your resume needs to be stellar. It needs to be super strong. One quick thing that you can do is just cross-reference a job description for something that you plan on applying to. You can ask ChatGPT, or you can do otherwise, but essentially you want to look for all of the qualifications that are listed there, all of the must-have skills that you need, those keywords. Make sure that your resume has them, because when the ATS is doing that screening, or if the company is using AI to do the screening, that is what they're searching for. They're searching for the keywords. And if you don't have them, again, you're not going to hear back.
Okay, so what the advice she's giving is kind of basic, but it's still good advice. And essentially the first 2 points are, you want to have warm leads. It's about who you know, not what you know as much. It's about references. It's about internal connections. And that's similar to what the first person was saying about how she sent out 20 emails and texts to her network. Your network is your net worth. And so, for example, the position I had most recently, I got it because a friend of mine had a mentor who was high up in human resources at that job. And because of that, I got the interview. Would they have seen it otherwise? Who knows? Maybe not. And I have a friend now who has a friend, so a friend of a friend of a friend. I don't even know the guy actually, but my friend referred his friend to me because I know someone, it's a big web here, who works a place that is hiring. And they're hiring for a position that my friend's friend is qualified for. And so now he's going to send me his resume so I can pass it along to my connect for that position. So as you can see, it cuts through, because if he had just sent that resume directly to that job that's open, they may have never seen it. It may have never gotten past the applicant tracking system she's talking about. And so now he has an in that he wouldn't have otherwise had. And of course, not everyone has that type of connection, but we all know people. We all have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees of separation. We can all find someone who can help us get into a job that we want. And the third thing she said was tailor your resume, make sure it's spot on. Again, very obvious advice. Yes, use technology to your advantage. Use ChatGPT to your advantage. Personally speaking, if I was looking for a position, I would do exactly what she said. And I know people that are actually doing this. They go, and especially if you're looking for jobs in a very specific industry or type of job, if you're just doing the shotgun method and you're spraying and praying and you're hoping that you're gonna get a job wherever, this can be a bit cumbersome. But if you're applying for, let's say, all, I don't know, data analyst positions, and they're all 1 to 2 year level data analyst positions, you can find plenty of job descriptions, like maybe 3 to 5, that have the specifications or looking for a career or for a job in that area, and use ChatGPT to tailor your resume to include those keywords, to include the systems they want you to use, all that. And you're shortcutting the process. And you believe it or not, a lot of people don't do this. So again, it's a way to compete. So with that said, yes, the job market right now is still tough. It's still hard to find work. The unemployment rate is probably not accurate, let's be honest. And if you want to get a job, especially if you want to get a job in white collar, that's the big thing here. A lot of these people applying for jobs are in white collar, not so much blue collar or like hospitality or healthcare, things like that. It's more so office jobs, let's be honest. Tech jobs, jobs you're working at a computer, you know what I mean? You got to compete. You got to do things differently. So, and that's just the honest truth. And with that being said, guys, thanks for sticking around the video. I appreciate it. If you got any value from it, feel free to give it a like and to subscribe if you feel so too inclined. And until next time, make smart financial decisions.